Hi guys, as you can see we've done a special video with Raz F1 today, which we're really excited to do. We did record the conversation with him, but on my end of things there was an issue with the video and the audio. So what I've done throughout is I've put my audio input over the top while breaking there. Obviously we were hoping to have both me and Raz on screen, so you've got Raz on screen as well as our logo will be on screen as well. But guys, hope you enjoy the video today, and yeah, here it is. Hi guys, I'm Mike and this is F1 Fanatics, and obviously you can see here today that I'm joined by a special guest. It is Raz from Raz F1. Welcome Raz.
Thank you very much for having me. Glad to be here. And let's have a good discussion about Formula One.
Let's certainly do it. Okay, don't forget guys, if you are new here to F1 Fanatics, to subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification. And if you are new to Raz's channel as well, also drop him a subscribe. But getting into today's video, it is about Kvyat versus Albon, who will get the 2020 seat at Red Bull. Obviously, we've seen a couple of races for Alexander Albon in the Red Bull so far, and obviously seen Kvyat have a strong season as well. So yeah, both have a shot at it, but I think Raz, do you want to start off on this one?
Yeah. I mean, I reckon Albon is gonna get the 2020 seat because I think Gasly, they have they've sort of treated it a bit like Kvyat, although this time around I can understand it more. I can sort of agree with it more because I think it's unacceptable that you're being led by your teammate twice. I think it was in Canada and was it Austria? Um, I think so. I think they've made the right decision on that one. But the way they've done it is a bit dodgy in my opinion and a bit unfair. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, obviously, I think if Gasly had had the same performances at like a Mercedes or a Ferrari, I think he also would have been dropped as well. I think it's just with the reputation of Red Bull, obviously, with the Kvyat drop and obviously dropping previous drivers midway through a season as well, that's where the kind of uproar has almost come about it. But yeah, I don't think they can really have any arguments. It's just the way that they publicly backed him 8 days before actually dropping him, which isn't really right for doing that. Which kind of leaves the seat just to be kind of decided between Albon and Kvyat. And it probably is leaving Albon favourite to get this seat because, like I think we were discussing pre-recording here, Helmut Marko really does, when it comes to the driver, be the kind of talking man in this position, and he certainly favours Alexander Albon. What's your thoughts on this, Raz?
I mean, I agree with you, Mike. I mean, I think Kvyat hasn't really got any real chance, although he did score that podium in Germany. But as I said, when you think back at 2014, when I think it was when they dropped when they dropped him from Red Bull just before the Spanish Grand Prix, was it?
I actually believe it was 2016. I think Kvyat came into Formula One in 2014.
Yeah. 2016 it was. Sorry about that, but
2020.
what I'm saying is he did actually stand on the podium before the race. Before that, they made the decision. So I think ever since then, I think ever since he had that crash with Vettel and being named the torpedo, like we all know, I think his status in Red Bull has sort of dramatically disappeared, and I don't think he's a viable option for 2020. Although he did show in Toro Rosso that he can deliver podiums.
I think it was harsh on Daniel Kvyat when he got originally dropped by Red Bull, but then again, you've seen Max Verstappen come in, and you can't really say that it is a bad choice in the long run because Max Verstappen is a once in a generation talent. But I quite like Daniel Kvyat. I think he's done a fantastic job at Toro Rosso this year, and I think he probably deserves a shot at a top seat in the future. But I agree with you. I don't think that is going to come at Red Bull, but I think Ferrari might be a viable option for him. Obviously, he test drived for Ferrari last year, and yeah, he certainly will be. If he doesn't look like there's a prospect of getting this Red Bull seat, I certainly feel he will be viewing his options to kind of go further up in the F1 grid. So yeah, do you think? Do you think he's got a shot at Ferrari there, Raz? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think I agree with you because I think Red Bull is gone. I think that's out the question. But then but I think to be a Ferrari driver, I think is also very unlikely because I don't think he's that strong. I mean, he could be a number two driver for Leclerc, but I think he would struggle with the Ferrari's expectations. But I think, as you say, I think Alpha is probably his best chance once Kimi Räikkönen retires, or even Giovinazzi, because let's face it, he's not doing a very good job at the minute, is he? I mean, he had quite a few unfortunate crashes, even this season. Having said that, I'm not too sure whether he's already signed a new deal for 2020. But I think Kimi Räikkönen is the most. Kimi Räikkönen will be replaced by Kvyat if he does return to Formula One. Like if he does stay in Formula One.
Yeah, Alpha really could be a viable option for Daniel Kvyat if Kimi Räikkönen retires, if he is looking to go down that Ferrari route. Like I've said before, I've been massively impressed with Daniel Kvyat since his return back into Formula One. Obviously, the highlight of that being the podium at Hockenheim, which I thought was a fantastic drive in the rain. But really, we should talk about his teammate Alexander Albon. And yeah, obviously has a really good rookie season so far. He seems to have settled okay into the first two races while at Red Bull. And yeah, do we think Albon is deserving of the seat, Raz?
Yeah, I mean, Albon is deserving of the seat. I'm more worried about the implication it might have on his Formula One career if it doesn't work out. You see, because at the minute, I mean, he's doing a good job, but when you think about it, you know, I mean, Red Bull are ruthless. We know that. But at Red Bull, you are required to go for podiums and fight for podiums. And if Max Verstappen doesn't deliver, you are supposed to be the winner. And I think it could go either way. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the seat, and he's doing a good job. But I'm hoping that if they do give him the season if they do give him the seat next season, I'm hoping that they're going to stick to their word and say, and not just say to Albon, bugger off, we'll get rid of you, like, halfway through the season, just because he's not consistently fighting for the podiums. I really hope they don't kill his career.
Yeah, I think driver security is a massive point there. I think we've seen it with Valtteri Bottas, obviously, where there was pressure put on him for the Hockenheim and Hungary performance, where everyone thought Ocon might go on and get the seat. He had his worst 2 races of the season there, and then obviously since being confirmed, he's had very strong 2 podium finishes at Spa and Monza since then. But yeah, moving back onto Alexander Albon, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he does in these last 7 races, because I think these are races that certainly suit the Red Bull a lot more. He's did very well in Spa, I thought that was a very good performance coming from the back. Monza was an okay performance. I would have expected him to be closer to the Renaults, but yeah, no, like I said, these last 7 races are going to be really important for Alexander Albon. But he does suit that Red Bull seat. Actually, me and Ash released a video where comparing his and Gasly's driving styles, and his driving style is a lot smoother, and it should a lot closer to Max Verstappen, so it should kind of tie in, and he should be a lot more comfortable in that Red Bull than Pierre Gasly ever was. So he's got that advantage to him in gaining the Red Bull seat.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think Alex Albon is the more aggressive of the two, of compared to Gasly. I mean, no disrespect to Gasly, he's doing a good job, and he does deserve his place in Formula One. But I think Albon is a lot more tougher as well. I think he's got that killer instinct, and he doesn't hold back, and if he I mean, if he sees a gap, then he see, I think did you see that move that Lando Norris made on Hamilton in Monza? I think if that was Alex Albon, I think he would have done exactly the same.
Yeah, I think you've seen it from Spa, well, just in these 2 races, that Alexander Albon has been a lot more aggressive than Pierre Gasly was. Highlight was probably that overtake on Daniel Ricciardo at Spa when he went around the outside. Do you remember that, Raz?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got the killer instinct that you need to have to be one of the greats. And I'm gonna put my neck on the line, and I'm gonna say, he might be the next the future world champion. I think they are formidable. I just hope that Red Bull actually give him the whole of the season to actually prove himself, because as Max Verstappen stated, when he first started with Toro Rosso, and I don't know whether you remember when Max crashed in Monaco, when he had when he had that big crash, and he actually took some positives from it. So I'm hoping that they're gonna, if Albon ends up sort of making a few mistakes, I just hope that they're gonna give him the opportunity to sort of learn from it, rather than using it against him, so to speak.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Raz. I think, Alexander Albon's aggressive overtaking style is going to sometimes lead to mistakes, and so therefore it has come off recently. But if he then has crashes, they can't be too harsh on him. They've got to give him the time like they did with Max Verstappen. And yeah, it's shown that if they give him the time like Max Verstappen, that they could have 2 very, very good drivers on their hands and really be pushing for constructors and drivers' titles on both fronts. So I think it's an exciting future for Albon.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you've got to remember though is, because I think before Max Verstappen came on the scene, I think Red Bull controlled the drivers 100%, and I think Eddie Jordan said it as well in his analysis some time ago. I think Verstappen is the first kind of driver that sort of has got control over Red Bull rather than them having control over him.
Yeah, it kind of makes Max Verstappen a really difficult teammate, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, but then what you've got to think about is also, is Max Verstappen going to allow Alex to fight him?
Yeah, I think, if it came to that, with Alex Albon competing on Max Verstappen's level, I think Christian Horner would put his foot down, and I believe, yeah, he would stop kind of Max getting the level dominance over it, because at the end of the day, it is the team, it's the Constructors' Championship where the teams do make their money. So yeah, I think they'd stop that. Just rounding off now, guys. Obviously, I think we've, in our discussion, Raz, decided that Kvyat doesn't really have a shot at the 2020 seat, mainly due to that relationship with Helmut Marko, where he doesn't particularly rate him in comparison to Alexander Albon. But do you want to give our concluding thoughts for this, Raz?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all agreed that Albon is going to stay. As I said, I mean, one has to consider that he's only had 12 races in Formula One. I mean, he wasn't even meant to be in Formula One before the season. So I'm just hoping that they're gonna give him the time. And as I said, I'm just hoping that they're not gonna kill his career, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I can't wait for the battle.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that battle too. Obviously, I said I've becoming a bit of a Daniel Kvyat fan. I really think he's done well since coming back into Toro Rosso. But for whatever reason, we don't think he is going to be progressed within that Red Bull seat. So yeah, I can see him not hanging around at Toro Rosso too long. If he obviously isn't had another option for next year, I expect him to be at Toro Rosso for 2020. But he certainly will be looking at his options of trying to pursue that Ferrari seat, I think, in the future, having that Ferrari link. With Alexander Albon, I do think it is a good overall mix with things. He seems to have settled into the seat all right. Like I said, the last 7 races are going to be a real telling point to see how he could do in this situation. But, it could be a really devastating and dynamic duo between Max Verstappen and Alexander Albon, and I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. So yeah, exciting future for Red Bull, I think, with Max Verstappen and Alexander Albon.
Yeah. So that's just what I think, and thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and so let's hope we've got many more discussions about Formula One.
No problem, Raz. Thanks so much for coming on the show today. We've loved having you on here. Obviously, just me today, but I know Ash loved having you on the channel as well, and definitely up for doing future collaborations between us. Guys, if you haven't checked out Raz's channel, go and check it out. Go and drop it a subscribe. Keep up to date with his videos. He has lots of kind of great content on there where he just kind of discusses F1, and he's a really knowledgeable and passionate guy. This is actually part 1 of a video collaboration between us. Part 2 is on Raz's channel. That's out now as well, where we talk about the Vettel situation. But yeah, guys, if you like the video today, don't forget to let us know. Drop us a thumbs up on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Click that bell notification to keep up to date with all our latest content. And get involved in the comments. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Should Kvyat get the seat or should Albon get the seat? We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, but there's only one thing left to say, guys. You F1 fans, keep racing.